If you come to us, you have a hiccup, you best believe you're having a 20-minute consultation with myself, or you're getting a voice note like you've never had before. You're speaking to the founder formulator, which is unheard of, by the way, unheard of. And you're gonna literally walk away and go, oh my God, that's how every brand should be.
Of a two-part special on how to leverage social media and your personal brand to grow your business. Today, Alex Nicolaou, co-founder of Nini Organics, is here to explain how he has created a loyal and engaged community through fun, playful and inclusive posts on social media.
Hello! How's it going?
It's going really well. I love that just from the moment you appear on the show, I feel like you are exactly like your Instagram persona. It's just so playful and a bit of goofiness, which I love.
Yes, why not? I'm literally living and breathing a dream, so I'm happy every single day. So my energy shares that and shows that.
Oh, it really does. I can feel it from here. Maybe for the benefit of our listeners, some of whom might not know about Nini, can you give us a bit of a backstory? So how did you begin your journey into skincare to start off with?
Wow. I mean, that is a question. So I think I probably started my love for skincare when I was around 6 or 7, and my mum used to host these aromatherapy parties at our house, and I'd always sneak in and be like round the corner like, what is this? And I was like, oh my gosh. And then afterwards there was always these little products in the bathroom, and the bathroom for me is an absolute safe space. Like I feel like it's everyone's safe space. It's the only place that you can truly be 100% vulnerable in every sense of the word. So whenever I was in the bathroom, I'd lock the door and I would open up all the cabinets, like, okay, what's this? And I'd try them all. And there was this instant innate love for products, or something that came in a little bottle, a little potion. And I loved Hocus Pocus as well when I was little, like all of that kind of witchery and practical magic, all that witcheriness. I just put it down to all being in these bottles that made you feel a certain way. So that was probably my first like love for the ritual of a beauty, or for beauty itself, was that.
And then later on, I guess you had a different kind of skincare journey, because you dealt with, I mean, this affects so many teenagers, but acne, which can be a really debilitating thing when you're growing up. Your confidence is you're just trying to find your feet. So tell me how then your interest in skincare changed, I guess.
Well, it became more like this was my like help. Like, oh my God, like I found so much comfort in you from when I was a child, and now I'm going through something that is so traumatic. Like anyone that has actually gone through hardcore acne, which I went through, and when I was put on Roaccutane because it was that bad. Luckily, I mean, there was always a silver lining with the acne that I had. I only had it on my face, which is what it is. I didn't have it anywhere else. I didn't have it on my back or on my chest. I just had it on my face. It was almost like I was wearing a mask. And at that time, I really wanted to be an actor. I was really pursuing that industry. I was going to auditions, and no one would take me seriously. When was the last person you saw had acne on screen? Like, you can't see it. So I was like, this is just not going to go anywhere for me. So I really turned to skincare then to be the cure, and that's what everyone does, and that's where we all make mistakes, because skincare is never the cure, it's only the support system. And I've learned that now through my years of formulating and from having Nini Organics. But I feel like we completely forget the one magical miracle cure, and that is ourself and our gut and our health and our mental health. That is the one thing that can really help with anyone with breakouts and acne. But skincare at that time, at that age, and what was out there in the world already, like organic way of living and like healthy way of living, wasn't really a thing in the early 2000s. It just really wasn't. It was all about the fast pace of life. It was really getting into the movement, the beginning of the internet. Like it was like, let's go, let's fast, microwave this, microwave that. Let's speed up our life. And it was like, let's speed up the results. So skincare has to give me the results, surely. So yeah.
When you were dealing with acne then, was that were you looking for, I guess, the silver bullet that would help solve it from a skincare perspective? Or, I mean, you mentioned you were on quite strong drugs for the acne. Was it that worked, but then you needed to moisturize, or you needed to kind of bring back a texture? Or what was it that made you feel like skincare could help you get to the next stage?
It was not until I came off of Roaccutane and my skin was left in bits, like very sensitive, very aggravated, very red, very inflamed, that skincare then became the support, but natural and organic. I found natural and organic beauty at that point, and that became my support system. Prior, when I had acne, I wanted the skincare to be the cure, but like I said, internally, that's where the cure comes from. You have to fix it internally, and I was put on Roaccutane because at that age, like, that's all that they would just suggest. They wouldn't really suggest a holistic way of dealing with stuff. They just never would. No dermatologist would. And, you know, that's obviously a touchy subject because dermatologists are needed. They're obviously extremely important in the world of skin and skin issues. But I feel like there's a lot of biasness when it comes to some dermatologists. So it'll be hard to... Maybe it's easier now to find people that might go more holistic because of the way that the world has gone. But back then it was like, no, here's Roaccutane, take it, that's going to work. Even though it will mess up or potentially mess up your liver, potentially make you very depressed, potentially mess up your dreams of being a gymnast as well. But take it, because you won't have acne. So after I came off acne and my skin was left red raw, that's when I turned to skincare, and that's when skincare became the support. And that's when my real, like, this is the moment that I was like, okay, I am fully absorbed in the world of beauty because it has really helped with my skin.
And I have to say, for any of our listeners who aren't watching and who may have acne or worry about acne, Alex's face is pretty gorgeous. His skin is phenomenal. He is glowing. He is absolutely perfect. So there is life after acne, and he's living proof.
Yes.
I totally hear what you're saying about skincare being the support. I had eczema really badly when I was little, and obviously you just get loads of steroid creams prescribed, but it was only as a grown-up that I realised I only got flare-ups when I was really sad or really anxious. And it's really funny how I think we're only just starting to draw those connections, aren't we?
They've always been there, that we've just been blind to them, and that's what I love about, and I'm sure we'll touch on Nini more now later on in the episode, but that's where Nini really touches on being the catalyst to self-enjoyment, like touching your skin, massage, reconnection to you. So yeah, we've all kind of lost that along the way.
So maybe we'll go there. So what was the moment that you decided, this is my time to start a skincare brand, and I'm going to do it with my sister? Tell us that bit of the story.
I will. Well, first, I think I've listened to a lot of founders, skincare founders, and one of my pet hates is when they say that they couldn't find what they wanted to create, especially newer founders. And I'm like, you're lying, because there's so many amazing brands out there. You could 100% find what you need. And that's the same with me. I could easily have found something quite similar to what I've created. But the difference is that I had intention. I've got so much passion. I've got so much drive and so much love. And I'm not in it for competition. I'm in it for the actual enjoyment that I have and how it's helped me. And I want longevity with Nini Organics. And I had a point of view, and I was born with mad intuition. So as being a formulator, I intuitively knew that if I was to do this, if I was to do that, then it would create magic. And that's exactly what's happened. And that's why I feel like Nini has done so well. So we basically, I was working in the industry for all skincare brands. I've worked for every single one of them, more or less. And it was this shop called Content Beauty, which doesn't exist no more as a standalone shop, but online they still exist. And they were the only green beauty, truly organic green beauty niche. And niche is very important to me. We're not about the masses. We're about the niche, because I'm a big believer in you get what you pay for. And this shop, Content Beauty, sold the most exquisite, incredible brands I've ever come across in terms of green beauty, natural beauty, healthy beauty. And I was just so taken back by it. So and this was like early 2000s, and I started to look at formulation courses, and then I was like, it just felt right. I was also trying to be an actor at the same time, and there was a disconnect with the acting still for me, and I couldn't work out what it was. And maybe it's because I was losing my hair as well. I don't know. There was a lot of things. But then when it came to skincare, everything felt right, and it felt like a connection that just was never going to go anywhere. And I had to play on it, and I had to focus on it. So I think I just had a point of view, and I think I wanted to just create the best version of a healthy skincare brand that you could possibly get in the UK. So that was my point of view that I wanted to formulate, and I had to do it. I couldn't contract someone to do it. I had to do it because it had to come from me, and it had to come from I can only put it down to magic. Had to come from my magic within, and so yeah, I done a formulation course, an organic and natural formulation course, and from there, my sister has always been very entrepreneurial as well, and she had a sandwich. Well, she was an organic, so not an organic. She was a special effects makeup artist, and she had a mad allergic reaction to polyurethane, which stopped her from pursuing that career. And her husband is also very entrepreneurial. His name's Alex as well, lol. And my partner's called Alex. There's lots of Alexes in my life. We love it. The Alexes, literally. And so they decided to join forces and create the very first ever raw vegan sandwiches in the UK called Raw Imagination, way back when. And then they closed that down, and Alex went to open up Genesis Restaurant with his brother. But when they closed that down, Nicole wanted to come on board with me because I had already started the movements of Nini Organics. It was called something a bit different back then. And then she wanted to come on board with me because she loved beauty as well, like from her makeup artist days. And then we was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then we literally joined forces. We had a death in the family, which left us with £1,000 each. And we was like, let's just put that together and let's start. Like, let's not talk about it, let's just start. And we did, and we launched it in 2017, and it's just been a whirlwind ever since.
That's amazing. And just so I'm clear, when you say you worked for almost every skincare brand, what kind of work were you doing for those skincare brands? Because you weren't doing formulations for them. That was the course that came later.
Yeah. So I was just a sales assistant in Space & K and Harrods and Selfridges. And then I worked for independent brands, and then I worked for Content Beauty as their sales assistant.
But that's amazing because you're actually meeting all the customers, hearing what they want. Like you're basically a one-man focus group because you hear it all when you're taking those roles.
Yeah, and that is what sets. It's one of my. I hate the question, what sets you apart from everyone else, because, like I said, it's just a point of view. Try Nini, and then you'll understand what sets us apart. Because I have lived and breathed the industry, and I'm so passionate about it. But I'm passionate to the extent that I'm obsessed with what I've created. But I'm also obsessed with green beauty. Like I said, I don't have tunnel vision for Nini. I want everyone to love and appreciate and use it. But if your skin can't handle the activeness of Nini, then I will 100% suggest you to a brand that I know that your skin may like, you know? So, like, we are one big collaborated family when it comes to us as a brand, which is quite unheard of in the world of, you know, products. Like, people have tunnel vision. They just want people to buy their own thing. That's it. Like, the thought of suggesting another competitor is, like, outrageous. But I'm like, no, it's a support system, and that's what green beauty is all about. That's what we've lost in life. Like, we've lost that connection, and then obviously COVID happened, and that lost the connection even more. So it's like, I yearn for that major collaboration connection to come back, and hopefully Nini is a brand that people look at and go, well, they just do things so differently.
And I love that you're kind of the sage of green beauty, because I feel like we need somebody who is also cutting through a lot of like the greenwashing, because there's a lot of beauty brands out there that like to throw a lot of these words around about being natural, but actually we don't know what goes into the pots. We don't see the manufacturing process. So it's good to have someone who knows the industry, who's like, actually these guys, they have my seal of approval, because that's really helpful for confused consumers. And I say that as a confused consumer.
Yes.
And then, so were you and your sister, were you always really close? Like, did you always know that as a partnership you would work really well? Or did you kind of building a business, did that bring you even closer? Like, tell me about that dynamic.
I mean, as kids, we hate each other, obviously, like as you do with your siblings normally. Like, she used to always just she used to always just say that I was, I had no friends and this and that. And then I would always say that she had a bald spot on her. I know. And then I would always say that she had a bald spot on her head where she pulled her hair so far back in a ponytail in the early 90s that it would cause like her hair to fall out just here. Lo and behold, I'm now the bald one, the fully bald one. So yeah, we had like obviously sibling like disagreements and rivalry when we was kids. But I think when I came out as gay, like at 15, 16 to her, before I like fully came out to everyone when I was like 19, I mean, everyone knew anyway. I was like Mariah Carey, like obsessed when I was a kid, like all the time. Like, of course he's gay, and Barbies. But we live for that fantasy. That is my childhood, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And then when I came out, I think we just cemented our like brother sister like love and friendship even closer. And then when she had Raw Imagination and she also was doing her makeup before she had the reaction, I would always be her test model and stuff. So we just bonded a lot when we were teenagers. And then obviously when we created the business together, she got pregnant, and I have always wanted to be an uncle. But I've always wanted to be an uncle where the kids would want me to pick them up rather than their mum or their dad.
The favourite uncle.
The favourite uncle. So it was... and I'm a big manifester. I don't know how many people like or enjoy that word or dislike the word, but I live and breathe manifestation. I mean, we can change the narrative of it to like visualizing things or whatever it may be, or just positive outlook on life. But I just manifested that so much to the point where our first studio, when we made Nini, was in Nicole's house. So she was pregnant. So I was there every week. So I saw the kids. When Zeke was born, I was there every single week, and I saw him every single week. Still now, and he's 7, so I've still seen him every single week, and they know me so much, like they're so comfortable with me, they love me, and I was like, that's exactly what I wanted. So I think all of that combined has bonded me and Nicole to a brother sister friendship, best friend that would never be broken.
I love the name Zeke.
Ever be broken.
I'm a big fan of that movie, The Faculty.
Yes.
That was the
oh my god, that's why he's called Zeke. No one knows it. No one knows it.
Josh Hartnett as Zeke was he was on point.
Exactly. Because Nicole's Alex was a director. Like and his brother, they had like a little film production, and he loved the name Zeke from The Faculty. And every time I've told the story to people, like, what? What's that film? Never heard of it.
Basically, I think we have exactly the same taste in movies, because I saw you had Death Becomes Her on your Instagram. You mentioned Hocus Pocus, The Faculty.
Yes.
These are all the films that defined me as a teenager.
Same.
So I think we just, we're on the same vibe.
Aligned.
And that brings me to Instagram, actually, because I was having a little rumble around in there, and you can't really visit that page and not laugh. Like, there's so much playfulness and just sort of, you're showing the products, but there's always just this extra level. Can you tell me a bit about your approach to social media, how you get that really joyful feeling around your page, when I have to say, like a lot of other skincare brands, it's very serious, it's quite preachy. Like, how have you gone so far the opposite direction?
I just think it's because I wanted... Once again, I think it just happened because Nini was meant to exist in this world, so everything was just meant to happen. I was meant to pursue my career as an actor and have that kind of very vivacious personality and very out there, extroverted personality. And I think that just all came into play when the Instagram page was created. I was like, well, obviously I have to showcase, I'm the face of the brand. It's me. That's why we call our customers the Nini lovers, because quite literally they're an extension of the love that I've created. Like, when we batch, we don't batch in a negative way at all. Like, we have to batch in a very positive, intentional way, because that all gets absorbed. The energy gets absorbed into the products. And I'm a big believer in energy. So I was like, we don't have the money to be glossy, firstly. So let's just be messy. And that is just what Nini is on our Instagram. It just is authentically fun. It's just me. It's festive. It is everything that I would want it to be and more, So it was always going to go that way. I couldn't have it any other way. And you know, we are a serious price point because we use incredibly expensive ingredients. And I've always thought, am I confusing people when they go onto the website and seeing our price point compared to what they're seeing on Instagram? But then as soon as they dive in, they're like, I get it. I get it. It's worth it. I absolutely get it. Once again, you get what you pay for. If you want to go to a brand and purchase something, have a hiccup with it and feel frustrated that you can't get through to someone, or you're not going to get the answer that you necessarily deserve or need, then, you know, that's that. If you come to us, you have a hiccup, you best believe you're having a 20-minute consultation with myself, or you're getting a voice note like you've never had before. You're speaking to the founder formulator, which is unheard of, by the way, unheard of. And you're going to literally walk away, go, oh my God, that's how every brand should be, to be honest, you know?
So what is your classic, I guess, Nini lover? Who is this person? How have they found you? How do they interact with you and other fans? Like, talk me through this individual.
It's, they are somebody that will walk down the street and look up and just smile and go, do you know what? It's grey outside, but the sun's behind the clouds and I know it's shining somewhere. And it's looking down and it's feeling festive somewhere else. And do you know what? I'm going to feel that energy. That's our customer. Somebody that literally finds the happiness in the saddest things or the smallest things, you know, will be extremely nostalgic. I'm so nostalgic. Like, as you can tell by the films, like, I've already started watching my Home Alone 1 and 2. Like, I'm extremely nostalgic as a person. And I wanted Nini to have that feeling of, like, you're not just using another skincare brand. You're using a brand that you feel like you know the founder, like it's your friend's brand and you're so proud of it, you know? So our customer is that very open-hearted, very comforted, cozy, out there, festive, fabulous person, you know? But then we've also got, on the flip side, we've got the people that are just beauty junkies that just want to try everything and they're just really into skincare. But the majority of our customers are very much, their energy matches mine, and I find that so entertaining and so much fun. Like the amount of conversations, voice notes or video notes that we're having with our customers, and it's just like they're talking to their friend and I'm talking to my friend. And
I love that that's your explanation, because there's no shortcuts there. Like, you literally are putting in the time where you are sending personal messages to people. Like, you're not using an algorithm, or there's not an app for that. This is literally just you being you.
Human to human, how we should be.
How we should be. And you said earlier about always bringing positive energy, like when you're doing your batching and stuff. So it sounds like you're always trying to put out really positive vibes and really kind of good energy. What fills you up in terms of your energy? Like, what brings you good energy and fills up your battery? And then what do you find really depleting?
So, I mean, the things that like literally enlighten me the most are the simplest things in the whole entire world. Listening to one of my favorite songs, revisiting a really festive memory from the past or for the potential future that I'm going to make happen. And doing my rituals, cleansing, massage, bathing, eating healthily, and obviously going to the gym as well, exercising, making myself feel like I am such a really high quality version of myself, you know? And that's what when we talked about Death Becomes Her, that whole moment of taking that potion and just reversing back the time. I do that in my mind, you know? I'm so privileged that I'm aging. Like, it's an absolute privilege. I'm so glad that is happening to me. Like, I'm so lucky. You know, I don't believe in anti-aging. It's an absolute myth. Like, this is impossible. But like, you can have moments in your day where you just relive a moment that makes you feel fuzzy and warm. And that's what I do. If I want to feel super festive, then I'll just relive a really festive, fuzzy moment in my day. Or I'll go for a walk and I'll just be in nature. Just forget to do the simplest things because we live in such a fast-paced life. And don't get me wrong, I'm very busy with Nini, like, very busy. But you always have a moment. I always say this, you're always sitting on the toilet. You always will be on that toilet and you'll be thinking, or you'll be doing whatever you need to do. But everyone in their day will be on that toilet. And that's the time that you can do something for yourself. Because it's just you in that toilet. Exactly. When people say, "Oh, I don't have the time to do that," I'm like, "Do you go to the toilet?" Well, there you go. You've got some time. You've literally got some time. You know,
That's
you
the
don't have
takeaway,
to...
people.
Yes.
Toilet time is not wasted time.
It's
festive
not.
moment time.
Yes.
Festive moments on the loo. Come on, you heard it here.
That is it.
I feel like you're really big on Christmas, Alex.
Oh, yes.
I feel like you're already planning. I can feel the bells ringing already.
I mean, I've got tattoo. I mean, listen, Mariah Carey, take her as a person away, her talent is undeniable. And her skill is undeniable. And the way that whatever came to her to write All I Want for Christmas Is You was meant to happen. Because she wanted a timeless song that everyone would know. And look what's happened. 30 years on, and everyone is like... if they don't even know Mariah, they know that song, you know? So it's like that festivity was instilled in me at a very young age. From her or from not, I'm not sure. I think it was more the twinkling lights and like the almost forced positive energy that comes with Christmas, you know? So I think I just latched onto how amazing that felt as a kid. That has just taken me through to my adult life. We're all just big kids. That's it. And that's what Christmas is.
It's true. I was going to ask you how you've built your confidence as an entrepreneur, but I feel like the answer will be like manifesting good things while channeling the festivity of Christmas and Mariah Carey. Yes. But how do you actually build confidence as an entrepreneur, as a businessman? Like, how have you done that?
I think, I mean, it comes from childhood. Like, I went through a lot as a kid. Like, I had epilepsy when I was younger. So that's that, you know, I remember that as a kid. And I had Rolandic benign epilepsy, from what I remember the technical term being. And I remember having fits. I was almost like I'm watching myself do it now in my head. Like I remember certain times of doing it. I remember having to deal with that kind of on my own in a weird way. And I always found, like I said, that safe space in the bathroom. Like I'd always lock the door if I had any, and I was bullied a lot as a kid as well for being gay. You know, I was born in the 90s, so it was kind of, there was a lot more on TV of like drag queens, gay people and stuff like that. So I saw it a little bit more and I was like, oh, that feels like I'm connected to these people in some way, but why? And so I had to deal with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a very loving family, but it wasn't the kind of conversations I would have with my parents. And then I started having them with my sister as I got older, but I wouldn't necessarily have them, so I had to have them with myself. So I've done a lot of self-work on myself, by myself. And I think I found a lot of help with very surface level positive things, you know, positive songs, you know, positive stories, positive poems, positive reading, all that stuff. It was all very positive. I didn't play computer games when I was younger. And if I did, it was like Powerpuff Girls or something silly like that, like very colourful and bubbly, you know? So I just really had like a full rainbow. I'm such a cliche, and I love being a cliche, but I had like a full rainbow from a childhood to now, and I just think I danced along all the colours of the rainbow as a kid, and I just helped myself through a lot of things, through being bullied, through having epilepsy, through having acne, through losing my hair. Like I've just been through a lot that I've had to deal with myself, and I've just come to the conclusion that nothing looks or feels as good as much as you can accept it. You know, if you can accept it, then it's just going to look and feel amazing, you know? So if you don't accept it, you'll hide it.
Does that mean that when you, for example, think about like, I don't know, forecasting or doing a business plan or working out sort of how you're going to make a profit next year, for example. So do you kind of, because you have experience diving in and just getting on with things on your own, do you feel like you're never kind of cowed by these things? You're never, you're just willing just to kind of get stuck in and figure it out?
I'm a big believer in if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen, you know? And so far, Nini has survived so much things. And I'm like, well, we've come this far. We've got thousands and thousands of customers and fans. Like, I can't imagine them ever wanting us to go. And I can't ever imagine going anywhere. So when it comes to forecasting or a new MPD or something like that, I just go into it, and I mean, we're realistic with the forecasting, of course, with what we have. But like, I just go into it and I just don't worry. I don't worry about daily sales. I don't worry about monthly sales. I don't worry about anything, because I know that something will happen along the way that will make everything work out. Everything work out. So yeah, I'm Nicole is more the warrior because she does more of the business side. As you can probably tell, that is our like kind of roles. I'm more of the creator, the face, the personality, and Nicole does a lot of the business side. So she always goes to me, don't buy that, we can't get that. Don't get that, we can't get that. Or she'll go, okay, you can get that. Okay, you can get that. I understand. Yes, let's do that. So she's kind of like my grounder in terms of business terms, but I feel like that's where we work so well together, is because I feel like you really do need that person to be like completely outrageous and be like, no, trust me, this vision is visioning. And she's like, okay, well, it will cost this. You do realize that. And we only have this in the account. I'm like, but don't worry about it. And then randomly we'll have like a gift of purchase and we'll make the money that we need. So I'm like, see, Nicole, you don't have to worry. Everything happens for a reason. So I live and breathe cliches, and I think a lot more people should.
It's the classic dynamic between like the creative artistic director and the chief financial officer. Like they have to exist to keep the show on the road, and they have to keep pulling in their opposite directions. But it's that dynamic with the push and pull, isn't it?
100%. 100%.
I guess focusing on the creative side then, can you tell me about some of the either creative campaigns or a product, something that you've created using your intuition that has just been like a runaway success or done loads better than anyone could have imagined? Just tell me about a real hit.
This is the magic of Nini's, because literally every single product has been more or less a hit.
Okay.
But the major kind of like moment that I can remember is when we released and launched our very first ever water-based formula, because at the start Nini was anhydrous, which means that none of the formulas had water. They were all oils, butters or powders. So when we first introduced a water-based formula, which was Crimson Beauty, which is our hydrating serum, it took the industry, but the green beauty industry, by storm, because it was a crimson red product that was all about hydrating the skin, but it introduced the idea of biotechnology to a niche small brand that is launching their very first water-based product. So I remember we done a live with this launch and I think we launched it in 2019. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was 3 years after we had the brand, and we launched it, and we launched it with a collection which contained our Hero Detox Oil and a few other brands from other products from other brands. And that collection, I think we only made 40 of them, of that little collection, but that collection sold out in under 2 minutes, which for us at that time was insane. I literally joined the live and I was like, okay, Crimson Beauty in the set. What? It's sold out? Guys, I can't believe it's sold out. It's actually gone. It's sold out. And the whole idea of that collection was once again a collaboration, like introducing our customers to brands that they may not have heard of, like with the brands that we included in that little collection. Plus, you're going to get our brand new formula. I mean, we make only small batches of our products, so the maximum we make is like 1,000 of our most popular. But at that time when we launched Crimson Beauty, I think it was only 500 of the products that we made, and we sold out of that product within a couple of days. But the set, we only made 40 of them. We sold out in under 2 minutes. And that was one, like, I knew at that point, okay, we're on to something with Nini now, because people are really fall in love. And Crimson Beauty is like our bestseller. Like, it is just a hero amongst hero product. Like, it is the reason why a lot of people come back time and time again. That and Detox Oil and Gaia, our 3 top heroes. But I started doing these things called the mystery bag, which is limited edition Nini products plus other brands in this bag that's a complete mystery. No one knows what they're getting. And I may reveal a few things every now and then. And the last bag we done, we had 40 of them again. And we sold out in 58 seconds. Once again, I done the live and it sold out of it. And I felt like I was on QVC. I was like, this is so festive. And it sold out in 58 seconds. And I was like, Okay, so we now doubled the bags to 80, and it hasn't launched yet, the next mystery bag, and it's going to contain some. I literally cannot wait for this bag, and it's just so exciting. But the magic with it is that it won't ever be more than 80 for the bag. We're keeping it very conscious, and also all the brands that I pick to go in there are doing exceptional things for the environment, for your skin, for their own business, for their customers, and it's all very open. It's a collaboration, it's a connection, and it's just allowing you to discover what beauty is actually all about. Because we have this idea what beauty is about, what the stores are selling us, what the marketing people are selling us. But when you dive into the formulas, like, it's just super insulting. And you just really, we vote with our money, and we can all turn and learn, and we can look at the ingredients if we want to, or we can listen to that blogger, or we can listen to our own desire and purchase it. But I can guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you'll be like, that was overhyped, or Whereas if you try Nini, it's a 360 brand, I can almost guarantee you that you would be like, oh, okay, this is different. There is something here that is pushing a button that I didn't know I needed to be pushed for a beauty perspective.
I love that you create this halo effect for other green beauty products. I feel like skincare has always been super cutthroat because it's like such a competitive industry. And I love that you're just like, no, everyone come into the fold. These are all great guys. Like, come on this journey with us.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
100%.
And then we've got to hear about Dragon's Den. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Of course I can.
So what made you, did you want to go on, did you actually want investment, or you just on for like the clicks and the eyeballs and the love? Like, tell us from the beginning.
So it's so funny. I've done a lot of TV, because when I gave up my acting career, to pursue my career in the beauty industry and to formulate, I still had an itch for that kind of performance. And so I've done a lot of reality TV. And the Dragon's Den came about, and I'd watched Dragon's Den since I was a teenager. And once again, I manifested. I was like, one day I'm going to be on that show. Like, one day I'm literally going to be on that show. And I'd say that to everyone. And it kind of did. What the magic with manifestation, visualizing things, is you visualize it, you feel it, you breathe it, you're in it, but then you let it go. You put it out there and you see what happens. And so I did. I forgot about the show. I'd always watch it, and I would always make a comment like, one day. And then we just had an inbox. So I had a DM in my inbox, on Nini's inbox. And I was like, that's so weird. It's from Dragon's Den. So she called us the next day as we was driving up to our studio, and she was like, guys, we would just love for you to be on the show. We think your energy's great. Like, we love the story. We love the brand. We love the idea. We love that it's brother and sister, blah, blah, blah. Would you be interested in auditioning? And the rest is history. It was like 4 months of like back and forth due diligence, because they obviously have to make sure that you're a legit company. Lots of due diligence with claims from products and this and that. And then we got on the show. We went up to Manchester the night before, stayed overnight. It was so funny. They actually booked me and my sister a double bed, and we were like, we're actually brother and sister. They're like, okay, don't worry, we can change the bed. And we were like, yes, please. And then we woke up super early the next morning. Obviously, we was practicing our pitch and everything. They didn't know that I was going to go in there and sing. And then we practiced the pitch. We went there the next morning really early, and we're setting up and everything. And I was just raring to go, because I've done TV before, so that doesn't faze me. It doesn't bother me, because I'm like, this is an opportunity. Why would I be scared? I'm like taking all this nervous energy, or whatever the energy was, and just putting it into this like once in a lifetime opportunity. And I wanted to be on this show since I was a teenager, so I've made it happen. And I was like, yes, let's do this. And then the doors opened, and I was like, stop it. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth, stop it. And Stephen laughed his head off. We walked down to the end, hit our mark, and I was like, good day, dragons. However, I wanted to say, good morning, dragons. What I normally would do, but they couldn't timestamp the show, so I couldn't say good morning. I had to say good day. And then, fluffed the pitch, fluffed the little blurb that we had to do at the beginning. But they edited that out. You didn't see that. We was in there for like 2 hours. They were just talking at us most of the time. And yeah, it was such an incredible experience. I think we wanted to go on the show because it's an investor show. You see product. It was a great exposure for Nini, of course. But also, just get the story across. You know, you've got once in a lifetime opportunity, about 4 to 5 million people watching you. Like, if you get on the show, it's gold dust. Why not? You know, I mean, the actual deal went through afterwards, but not all the deals may go through afterwards. When you say yes on the screen, it doesn't mean you've actually signed the deal. But we actually did sign with Stephen and Peter. They've been great mentors. It's been super fabulous having them on board. But me and Nicole, we just really ran with it, and we were just like, this is amazing. It was so surreal when we was watching it, and we saw the back end just go wild. And then, but not only that, still now people are still going wild for Nini because of the show and because we've been out there more. But like, it has just opened us up to a lot more people, and we wouldn't change it for the world. It's been incredible.
It's interesting because you said earlier how you feel like your experiences as an actor and, you know, getting comfortable being in front of the camera, speaking as yourself. I mean, that you said that's been kind of instrumental in your success, and it really seems clear that that is the case. Even when you were saying earlier about selling out, doing Instagram lives, like, I don't know that many founders who would feel really confident going and doing an Instagram live and doing that regularly and doing it to launch products, because they'll be a bit like, oh God, you know, I don't want to be on camera, or I feel nervous. What if I fluff my lines? And then with Dragon's Den as well, it's clear that that confidence, that skill has been like really big in terms of building Nini into what it is today.
I used to watch this program when I was younger called Takeshi's Castle. Do you remember it?
Yes.
You know the stepping stones that they used to run across. Yes. And then they would fall off on one of them.
Fall off. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like, I feel like life is that. That is like literally a metaphor for life. Like, I honestly feel like every single stone that I have been running across has been set in place to land to where Nini is today. The acting, getting the acne, me falling off the stone, coming back on and keep on running, and then launching Nini and just getting there and like having this personality. It doesn't even faze me having a camera like that. It doesn't faze me. But I'm not a Gen Zer. I'm a millennial, so I do it in a millennial way. I'm not interested in doing it in a Gen Z way. I do it a very messy, authentic way, because that is true, and that is showcasing what people want to see. If I see another glossy video, I'm like, girl, come on, how much takes did you have to do? Be festive. Yeah. So like, and don't get me wrong, we're having a rebrand, so we're going to have to do some glossy videos, but I'm going to put my spin on it, because I'm not going to just follow what everyone else does. And so like, I honestly do feel like everything that I've done in my life has led to this moment. I'm on that constant running of those stepping stones. Will I fall off? Will I fall back on again? Who knows? But it's fun and it's exciting, and I'm excited for the next step.
Is it ever pressure though? Because also, I guess when you're running a beauty brand, people looking at you all the time. Like, what do you do the morning that you have a pimple or something? Or is that just part of it all and you just roll with it? Like, you never feel like, I'm like the face. No. Nicole
had a major breakout from Dragon's Den. The stress that she personally went through going on that show. And, her cheeks she's never had problems with her skin ever. Her cheeks completely flared up, but we hit it nail on the head. I tweaked the ritual for Nini, and then we got her to see a hormone specialist, because obviously products are just a support. She needs to internally take control. And now her skin's completely back to what it was before, because we hit it and we documented it, we showcased it, because perfection doesn't exist. It just does not exist. Like, I show pores. I've still got some blackheads, but my skin is extremely balanced because of what I'm using on my skin, the support system. But then it's a 360, what I'm doing internally. We have customers come to me and go, your product didn't work. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at it as a 360 approach rather than just the product. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And we go on a journey together. Then they come back 6 months later. Oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I'm so glad that I actually listened to you and took your advice and spoke to this hormonal specialist, or took this, tried this, tweaked the ritual this way, because now it's worked. And now my skin is fabulous. Thank you. A lot of people are in this fast, quick life. Let's go quickly. Let's make it happen. I want results now. And if I don't get them now, then you've not done your job and I'm unhappy, I want a refund. That's just not life. It's a delusional way of living. Like, we have to live in the now, in the present, and we have to face things head on. And if it's as simple as a spot, I will document it. I'll be like, guys, I got a spot. This is what I'm doing. The next day, it will go down because my products do support the skin. It does work. It does help take down inflammation. So yeah, I love all that stuff. You know, if I'm having a finicky skin day, then I will showcase it. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do to help support me mentally, because my skin is fabulous and I love it, and I want to forever enjoy it, which I do. But there is obviously those times where you're like, oh, why am I having a spot here? But I can normally pinpoint why I get a spot, just because of how I live my life. So yeah, I love those moments.
I love the pimples. Bring on the pimples.
Bring on. Well, they've created a dream come true for me. So I can only but be thankful for the acne that I have.
Oh,
I can only.
That's amazing.
And you should always. It's perspective, isn't it? You should always flip the narrative.
Yeah.
Always flip the narrative.
Alex, I think that's a really beautiful, positive place to stop. I've loved having you on the show. What a positive. I mean, I'm like bursting with joy and enthusiasm. And also, I feel like I understand another reason for the high price point, because you're basically giving your customers a hotline to like a beauty consultant, because they're calling you up being like, I wanted a bit more from this product. And you're like, right, here you go. I'm giving you a whole schedule of beauty and nourishing treatments to do for the rest of the year. Thank you so much for coming on, and
Anytime.
Best of luck with your journey. You don't need it. I think you've got it covered.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And stay festive, stay fabulous, and your skin is glowing.
Thank you for taking time out from your manifesting and rainbow dancing, Alex. You can follow him and Nicole at Nini Organics on TikTok and Instagram. Tune in next time to hear from another social specialist and learn how to make your personal brand sing online.